out in Venice on Monday, I will go with my head held high as leader of a strong country.
There were people earning a lot of money without doing anything at all in this world of money. Then it suddenly came to a dramatic halt in the 80s. The reasons I can't give you, you'll need to talk to a qualified economist, and no doubt they'll have differing views on why it happened. But the system overnight became much more cutthroat. We had examples of firms right out of the blue calling fire drills, locking their employees out and throwing their belongings from the window to them and saying, sorry chaps, you're fired. That's how bad things became.
The bubble burst again. But that's what happens in history. You'll have these slumps and these booms, and you won't change it, because that's what capitalism is, really, isn't it?
I don't think we can change the world. It's not something we can do. Certainly we insolvency specialists can't. Our job is sweeping up or trying to prevent. Now, as far as I can see, the best way is to try and see whether we can do something about stopping people being greedy and stopping people being over-ambitious. And I don't think you ever will do that.
I mean, the economists seem to think that the whole of the problems can be solved by money, by the use of money rather than the creation of wealth. But they've never really got anywhere near it. So I would ask the question, whose money? What money? Where's it coming from?
10 years ago, Britain was a loser. Today, Britain is a winner. Is the party over?
Yes, buddy, the party's over. The drink and the luck ran out.
Economics has really obscured the fundamental problems of the British economy by seeming to be able to give a particular solution by pulling a particular lever or pulling a set of levers. It's obscured the longer-term decline in our industries, the longer-term decline in the quality of our labour force, which politicians should really have been addressing 30 or 40 years ago, and which some of our European competitors, who've turned out far fewer economists than Britain, by the way, have succeeded in doing much better than we have in the UK.
For some economists who were involved in this story, there is a further question. Were their theories used to disguise political policies that would otherwise have been very difficult to implement in Britain?
The nightmare I sometimes have about this whole experience runs as follows. I was involved in making a number of proposals which were partly at least adopted by the government and put in play by the government. Now, my worry is as follows, that there may have been people making the actual policy decisions, or people behind them who never believed for a moment that this was the correct way to bring down inflation. They did, however, see that it would be a very, very good way to raise unemployment. And raising unemployment was an extremely desirable way of reducing the strength of the working classes, if you like. That what was engineered there, in Marxist terms, was a crisis of capitalism which recreated the reserve army of labour and has allowed the capitalists to make high profits ever since. Now, again, I don't say I believe that story, but when I really worry about all this, I worry whether, indeed, that was really what was going on.
What we now doubt, which we used to think, was that our models will enable us to look into the future and indeed to change the future to the benefit of mankind. The experience of recent years has been such that as soon as we develop a model that seems to be reasonably good at explaining the present, and there are few enough of those, God knows now, the future changes.
We live in an imperfect world, and if that's true, how are you ever going to make it a better world?
We can perhaps hope that we can prevent it becoming a worse world. I don't think that we can easily make it a better world.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen, no Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Oh, yes, Lord.
At 11 o'clock on UK TV History, Great Raids of World War II tells the story of the Cockleshell Raiders. Our V for Victory season continues next with a look at the turbulent relationships between Churchill, Roosevelt and de Gaulle in Allies at War.
Knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah.